Welcome back to OCG News. We called this earlier today. I've got some other stuff that we'll cover later on in the day as well from the TCG side. I'm going to leave that for a separate video. So, we got some interesting lore today. It would appear that Time Thief and Cyframes are in the same cinematic universe, being tied together by a new archetype, which I believe is called Security Force. But we'll talk about that in a second. So they kind of go through some OCG news here. Alright, they talk a little bit about Necros and Dogmatica as a deck. Play mats. This beautiful Charmer mat, by the way, if anybody's got these, hit me up. The blue Mirror Force, which looks fantastic, by the way. Their secret, or their Sacred Beast mat looks good. And then news time. Alright, Security Force Rappa Shiomaru, alright, which is this right here. And this looks, art is really nice for this stuff. So it's a level 2 Dark Warrior. When your opponent's monsters your opponent controls that face security monsters you control can only target monsters in their column for attacks. Alright, you guys got that? A lot there. Quick effect, you can banish one Security Force card from your hand. Return this card to your hand if you special summon one Security Force monster from your deck in defense position, except for Rappa Shiomaru. So this does get the ability to tag out during the opponent's turn? Okay. I'm trying to think about, like, is it more value to do it one way? I'll have to wait and see what the rest of this does. This is very interesting. Alright, Security Force Professor Dig. He looks like a... I didn't even get to finish his name. He looks like a very evil guy here. So this is a level 3 Psychic. Oh no, it's E-Tellable. If this card is normal or special summon, you target one face monster opponent controls, changes battle position. Battle positions of your opponent's monsters that face security monsters you control cannot be changed, except with card effects. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. And then we get Security Force, or I want to say Orphis, but that's not the right name. I've had so many people joking about this being Gaga Ga Cowboy. It's actually kind of hilarious. So, Security Knight, I mean, that's basically Orphis. So, your opponent cannot target monsters they control that face security monsters you control with card effects. That's actually pretty good. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can banish one Security Force monster from your hand to destroy that monster. Now, the effect will still, in fact, resolve, so that's something interesting. Outside of that, that's on a level 4 Cyvers. Huh. Alright. Security Force Gravinito. This is an interesting mishmash of characters we got going here. So, level 5, 2014. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Security Force card from your deck to your hand. So, this tutors for our spells, our traps, and our monsters, actually. Banish any number of monsters your opponent controls that face Security Force monsters you control when it leaves the field. So, we get a generic board wipe across the field for the opponent's cards. Okay, that's interesting. And then we got Security Force Planeta. I wonder if she's supposed to be our master plan of this archetype. Level 6 on a Dark Spellcaster. If this card is normal or special summon, you target one of your banished Security Force monsters, except for Platina, and special summon it. So we basically get to recur. Monsters your opponent controls that face Security Force monsters lose 600 attack. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that this entire gimmick is really cool. Having monsters in front of other monsters that give penalties to them. Is this going to be a competitive theme? Not by any stretch of the imagination. But it is a cool, interesting starting point for what we can potentially see future themes possibly doing. Alright, next up, we got Security Force Justify. Alright, so on a Link 3. Alright, I see you. So, all of its link arrows point up, by the way. I think that's very important. It's 3 effect monsters, including a single security monster. You cannot summon or set monsters to a zone this card points to. Well, that means that I can't kaiju over my opponent's cards, I guess. Quick effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn, then you can move that monster to an opponent's monster zone this card points to. That's kind of interesting. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks, you can banish all monsters this card points to. So you basically will get a generic punish board wipe on everything. And on a Link 3, for really anything in this archetype here, you get the ability to make this and have a negator. That's not horrible, actually. There is use for this, surprisingly. All right. We just need a more splashable security guard. All right. Security guard, force, bridgehead. Oh, boy. I like our field spell. All right, that's actually kind of cool. You can only activate one card with this card's name once per turn. When this card is activated, you can add one security force monster from your deck to your hand. Take note, mutants. This is what your card should have done. When an opponent's monster declares an attack on your security monster in the same column, you can activate this effect. That monster you control cannot be destroyed by battle. So basically, we get a searcher on activation that also allows Mech Knight level column abuse to prevent our monsters from being destroyed by battle. Okay, I'll take that. Seems pretty good to me. Next up, we got Security Force Showdown. This is actually really cool. We actually end up tying in Time Thief here based on this art. As you can see that the Security Force is going to face off against Time Thief Redoer, of all things. I guess it was just a matter of time, actually. So, Security Force Showdown. Quick play spell card. You can activate one card with this card's name once per turn. You can special summon one Security Force monster from your hand in defense mode, or you can target a security monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So the cool thing with this, considering the entire theme wants to be positioned in front of the opponent's monsters, you get the ability to beam these out during your opponent's turn and punish them for basically wanting to play the game. Now, if this would have been special summoned from the deck during the opponent's turn, I think we would have seen a lot more possible abuse with this. But to start off, this is all right for what the theme, I guess, wants to do. All right. And then we have Security Force Specimen. This is supposed to be the Cyframe cards, right? In terms of lore. So we're all tied together now. One big happy lore. So you can only use one of either of this card's names first or second effects once per turn, and only once that turn. So if your opponent controls a monster, you can target one of your Security Force monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon it to your field so that it faces a monster your opponent controls. So basically, same thing up here as what you want to do with Security Showdown. You want to be able to beam out monsters in front of what the opponent is doing, or what you would consider detrimental, and punish them. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one Security Force monster you control, move it to another of your main monster zones. So this will actually give us the ability to shift our monsters around. Overall, the Security Force theme is pretty cute. I don't think it's going to be amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but it is very cool to see that they are tying the lures of multiple cards together. All right, I mean, that's always worth something. All right, this was big. This is the Link 5. And this card looks gorgeous, by the way. Look at that. All right, it's going to be the holographic rare of the set. All right, you're probably like, a Link 5? Nani? All right, so Link arrows are really weird. So it's 4+ effect monsters to make this. You heard me right. If you link summon this card, you can use one monster your opponent controls as material. All right, so if they got a Link 2 on the field, congratulations. You get to use it for material for this. If this card is link summoned, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. Cha-ching, skill drain value. This link summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated card effects that do not target it. That's huge. Alright? And once per turn, when a card effect is activated that includes special summoning a monster from the graveyard, quick effect, you can negate that activation. We now have a generic means to counter some of the format now, but problem is it's on a Link 4 with 4+ effect monsters. I kind of thought this should have been a Link 3, or excuse me, a Link 5 with a 3+ summoning monsters, but that might have been a little bit too bonkers in the long run. So, a very, very interesting card. And then the last thing we got here is a new Evil Twin, or Live Twin. And this card looks, look how great that foiling looks on this. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like, I'm so surprised they make these cards look so good. Alright, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for good foiling. That's the one thing I always enjoyed about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the foiling patterns always look amazing. From the ghost rares to the ultimate rares, it's always very nice. So, if you control a Kish Kill monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, so we do have another extender for this deck. When either player takes damage from a battle involving an evil twin monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one face-up monster opponent controls. It loses attack equal to the battle damage they took. Now, all jokes aside here, alright? Honestly, this card isn't bad. It's another extender for the deck, which is the main thing that we want it for. It's still that evil twins are missing a lot of good support, but the fan base loves the deck, so here we are. So that is everything out of the announcements today. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the Link 5, the Kish Kill monster support, and the Security Force archetype. Very interesting reveals so far. Alright guys, have a good rest of your day. We'll be back later on this evening for more. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCall40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCall40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcallgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.